Hey everybody, it's LibraryAnn, and today I'm going to read you a Shabbat book from the Rabbi Rocketpower series, and it's called Rabbi Rocketpower in Who Hogged the Hallah, a Shabbat Shabang, written by Rabbi Susan Abramson and Aaron Dvorkin, illustrated by Ariel, DiOrio. And I'm going to read 3 chapters. Chapter 1, Another Wacky Week. Snore, snore. Aaron, get up. Time to go to school. Oh man, do I have to? I'm so tired. Moan, oy vey, is it morning already? Can't you dodo heads wake up without being so annoying? This was how the Mensches began each long day of the week. Dad would rush Aaron to school, then zoom to his office to work on his secret supercomputer. Rabbi Mensch would drag herself out of bed, she was really not a morning person, and go to her temple to help people with their problems, teach classes, study Torah, and have meetings. After everyone left the house, Purr would jump into the toilet, take a nice long drink, chew the plant on the kitchen windowsill, burp, and head down to the basement to watch cat TV. Early afternoon, Rabbi Mensch would dash to pick Aaron up from school and rush him to soccer practice, clarinet lessons, or religious school. Purr would wake up from a long nap, stretch, see if there were any bugs nearby, and go back to sleep. As soon as they got home, Rabbi Mensch would make a quick dinner such as leftover pizza, tuna fish, macaroni and cheese, and hurry back to the temple the second Dad arrived. Aaron would sit at the kitchen table eating and doing his homework. Purr would knock a plant off the kitchen shelf and threaten to do something worse if someone didn't feed her. However, Friday afternoons were different. Everyone came home early. While dinner was in the oven, Dad would spread the white tablecloth over the dining room table and put out the nice plates and silverware. Aaron would put the Shabbat candles in their holders. Then he'd fill the humongous Kiddush cup his mother got in Israel with grape juice and head upstairs to take his Shabbat shower. Purr would go down to the basement, switch on her cat TV with her tail, and fall asleep watching her favorite reality show, All My Catastrophes. Aaron's favorite part of Shabbat was the food, and the best part of the food was the challah. Every Friday, he and his mother would make their heavenly challah recipe from scratch. He loved every part of the process, from pouring the yeast into the hot water and watching it bubble up in little explosions, to stirring in the yellow egg and sugar mixture, dumping in the flour, and kneading it with his hands until he formed a big ball. He couldn't wait to roll the dough into long snakes and braid them into 2 loaves. One loaf was to keep Shabbat. The other was to remember Shabbat. His mother would always save a little dough to make a personal mini challah just for him. The ultimate reward was when the smell of freshly baked bread would fill the house as his mother hid the steamy loaves under the challah cover. Rabbi Mensch would manage to prepare Aaron's favorite teriyaki chicken wings, rice, and roasted broccoli and have it ready when the challah was done. The feast didn't stop at home. Aaron would look forward to the amazing dessert buffet at the Oneg Shabbat after services at the temple. While his parents were busy talking, he would pile his plate with cookies, cupcakes, and whoopie pies. As usual, Aaron couldn't wait to recite the blessing over the candles, the kiddush over the wine, and the motzi over the challah, so he could begin his weekly feast. But on this particular Friday, he and his parents had no idea that this would be the wackiest, most unappetizing Shabbat ever. Chapter 2, A Whiny Shabbat Tale. Achoo, Dad sneezed on the chunk of challah he was just about to put in his mouth. Sorry, guys, I've got a terrible cold. I don't think I can join you for services tonight. He blew his nose so hard into his white linen napkin that the Shabbat candle sputtered. Hey, Bub, stop with the scary noises. You woke me up from my cat nap, screeched Purr as she jumped onto the table. Purr, get down. You know you're not allowed up here, scolded Rabbi Mensch as she tried to grab her. That bread smells yummy, Purr declared, jumping on top of one of the challahs to avoid Rabbi Mensch's grasp. Purr stuck out her tongue and licked the top of the other one. Are those chicken wings? They're my favorite, she announced, sticking her nose in Aaron's plate. While everyone tried to grab her, she wagged her tail right into the Shabbat candles. Yow, she screamed when her tail began to smoke. As Purr raced frantically around the table, everything went flying. The glasses toppled and the silverware clanged onto the floor. Aaron ducked as his plate full of chicken wings, rice, and broccoli flew right at him. Dad snatched the candles just before they tipped over onto the tablecloth. Rabbi Mensch dove out of her chair to catch one of the challahs as it whizzed by her. The other one landed in Dad's lap. Ah, that's better, Purr sighed with relief as she plopped into the giant Kiddush cup, the only object on the table left standing. Get out of there, that's disgusting, Aaron shouted. First you ruin dinner, then you dunk yourself in a Kiddush cup? That cup is supposed to symbolize the sweetness of Shabbat, not be a fire extinguisher for cats. Aaron picked up Purr while his parents began to clean up the mess. He held her out at arm's length and carried her to the kitchen sink. The wine dripping from Purr's tail left a purple trail across the white tablecloth and the polished wood floor. Well, who told you dimwits to light candles when the lights are already on? Purr argued, wriggling to get free as Aaron washed her off. That's the dumbest. Shabbat candles give us a special glow and help us see everything we're grateful for, Rabbi Mensch interrupted, trying hard to feel the glow of Shabbat as she and Dad cleaned the mess off the floor. They're supposed to remind us that Shabbat is a day of peace. Hopefully, we'll get some at Shabbat services. I'm out of here, challah breath, whined Purr, sliding out of Aaron's grasp. She jumped down on the exact spot that Rabbi Mensch had just cleaned and shook herself off. Purr stuck her nose in the air and pranced back down to the basement. Chapter 3. Who deserted the Oneg Shabbat? As Rabbi Mensch and Aaron walked into the temple, they still hadn't quite recovered from dinner. Their stomachs were rumbling from hunger because they'd only managed to eat a little challah before everything else flew off the table. Hey, Mom, maybe we should bring Purr to temple with us sometime so she could learn to behave better, Aaron suggested. Are you kidding? If she could destroy our whole dinner in 5 seconds, imagine what she could do at the temple before anyone could teach her anything, Rabbi Mensch shuddered at the thought. Actually, maybe what she did wasn't so bad, Aaron suddenly realized. I'm so hungry, I'll be able to eat extra desserts at the Oneg Shabbat. You're in luck, his mother smiled, deciding that on Shabbat she shouldn't argue about his eating habits. We're having our annual delicious dessert oneg after services tonight. Everyone in the temple made their favorite recipes and put them on the buffet table in the social hall this afternoon. I baked a huge hysterical challah with chocolate chips and mini marshmallows inside. I can't wait for everyone to taste it. I'll go check it out, Aaron shouted as he raced down the corridor to the social hall. Okay, but remember, I want you in the sanctuary when the services start, Rabbi Mensch called after him as she headed into her office. Aaron couldn't wait to see his mother's challah surrounded by plates of all his favorite treats. He was also anxious to scout out the long buffet table so he would know exactly what to save room for on his plate. He was so hungry that he began thinking of ways he could break off the edges of some cookies and cakes so he could taste a little without anyone noticing. But when Aaron got to the social hall, he didn't see his mother's challah. He didn't see any desserts or even the trays they were usually on. There were no rows of little kiddush cups, which were usually filled with wine and grape juice. All he saw were long, empty tables covered with white paper tablecloths. That's weird, he muttered. As he got closer, he noticed that there were a lot of crumbs on the tables and the floor around them. How could everything be gone? The service hasn't even started yet. His stomach growled as he realized he wasn't going to get anything he was looking forward to eating. Some Shabbat this was turning out to be. "Hey, who ate all the food?" demanded his friends Mandy and Becky as they came up behind him. "Everyone was going to like our grandma's chocolate chip cookies the best," Mandy pouted. "We were going to sneak a little sample of everything before services," whispered Becky, disappointed. "I don't know what happened," Aaron sighed. Just then they heard strange snorting and chomping noises coming from the kitchen behind the social hall. "What was that?" they all asked at once. They ran toward the kitchen door and peered around the corner. The kitchen was dark, but they could see light coming from under the storage room door in the back. Although the door was closed, they could hear something going on inside. Soon they realized that the snorting was really laughter and the chomping was really eating. "Oh no," whispered Aaron as his heart began to race. "Someone's eating all the food. I've got to stop them before it's too late. Go tell my mother while I investigate." "But we want to help too," Mandy and Becky insisted. "No, it's too dangerous," gulped Aaron, not sure what was going on or what he was going to do about it. So that's the end of chapter 3, and I'm going to stop here. And next time I'll read chapters 4, 5, and 6. So I hope you enjoyed Rabbi Rocketpower in Who Hogged the Hallah, a Shabbat Shabang by Rabbi Susan Abramson and Aaron Dvorkin. And I hope that every Shabbat is a wonderful one, a joyful one, a fun one, and a one full of peace. I'm LibraryAnn. Happy reading, everybody.